Welcome to BBQ Today we're smoking up a crown loin back rib roast at the pit, and it's real easy to do. Alright, what do I mean by a crown loin back rib roast? Well, it's like a crown pork roast that you might be familiar with, those fancy ass expensive roasts that you can have your local butcher make up for you. But we're doing the loin back ribs as a takeoff on it. It's easy to do, it's a lot cheaper, and you don't have that dried pork chop attached to this. We're just going straight for the loin back ribs, right? You know what I'm saying, right? Now, to do this, what you want to do is notch each side of these rib racks right here a little bit, about halfway through, and this is going to form the crown. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper and a lot easier to do it this way. It might look redneck, but it's good and it's cheap, and like I said, more tender than any French cut crown rib roast you can muster up, right? All right, we've got a good beer stein shape to this. Looks good enough already, right? And what we're going to do is use some chef string to tie it together a little tight, just like that. Easy to do. Yeah. Now, if you've never had one of these crown loin back rib roasts before, you definitely got to check it out. It is good eating at the pit. And this method will give you a lot of space to make a bunch of these on a smoker or grill, right? A space saver. So instead of a few racks, you can do maybe 6 racks on your smoker. You definitely got to check it out. All right. This one is tied up. We've got a few more to go. In fact, this looks like a classic beer stein, right? Ooh, yeah. This is gonna be good. All right, let's move it on. You know how to do this. We're gonna season it next. You use at least some coarse salt and black pepper, whatever you got. We have some SPG, and we're adding a little bit of thyme leaf to it. Right? This is dried thyme. Give it a little bit of that flavor, right? That pork flavor we're familiar with. And we'll just sprinkle it all over these roasts. I'm telling you, this is gonna be good, like I said. All right. Now, the method for cooking these is like you do any rib, right? There's not much fat in these, so the only way you can really tenderize these is with temperature, low and slow. We're going to get these up to about 180, 185 degrees Fahrenheit, and that'll break down the collagen inside these roasts and make it real tender. Now, of course, you could serve these at 140, perfectly safe to eat, but to get them real tender, like any pork rib, you want a low and slow. So we're going to run the temperature of about 250 to 275 degrees Fahrenheit in this smoker. Oh yeah. Now, because we're going to make one of these fancy ass crown loin back rib roasts, we're going to add some stuffing. And this will impress your boss or your girlfriend you're trying to hook up with, so you make up some stuffing. Now, we've got some pre-packaged stuffing. It only calls for a few additions. Like we have a couple of cups here of chicken broth. We're putting in about 6 tablespoons of butter. And we've chopped up some onion and some celery. Use your favorite stuffing on this, and we'll show you later what we're going to do with it. But in the meantime, it's pretty easy with these pre-packaged stuffing mixes that's pre-seasoned. And we're just adding some veggie, some broth, and some butter. Real easy to do. But if this is too fancy for you, just skip it. Oh yeah, but there's nothing like stuffing with a good rib roast. Oh yeah, baby. All right. Now, we happen to have some smoked beans going on in there. That's right. If we're doing a 4-hour low and slow, we might as well smoke up some beans. And we'll have another video later. I will show you how to do that. Now, these ribs have been in there about an hour and a half, approximately. All right, and what we're going to do is put a cover on the stuffing, because all we really need to do is heat that up, just get it warm. It really doesn't need to be cooked. Right? And we're also going to do what they call the Texas cheat. And what we'll do is take the aluminum foil and wrap each one of these roasts with it. And what it'll do for us is help maintain or retain the moisture in these ribs. Some call it the Texas cheat, call it what you like, but it works really well, and most pit masters will use this technique. Now, here we're putting on some sauce. Use your favorite sauce. Baste it on. Can you smell that? It smells good, but it's not ready to eat yet. Right, give them a good wrap like that. Oh, man. The neighbors are going to be jumping the fence on this one. Oh, yeah, look at those beans. Oh, bacon beans. We'll show you later how to do that. All right, so we're going to go at least an hour and a half with the Texas cheat. All right, in the miracle of time, another hour and a half is gone. We're about 3 hours into this, and we're going to remove the foil to finish these off. Oh, man. Good. Oh, baby. We're going to be eating good tonight, Martha. Oh, yeah. Now, we're going to baste these again. In fact, one of them we're just leaving au natural, right, with no sauce on it. And the two other we're hitting with our barbecue sauce. You do it the way you want, your favorite way to do ribs. That's all this is, right? All right. Slather some more sauce on there, just like that. Yeah. There's not much to say, right? These look good enough to eat already. In fact, you could, because these are probably around 140, but it'll be like eating a regular pork chop. So we want to go another maybe hour, a little bit longer, to really break down the collagen. All right, I say it's time to plate these up. Oh yeah, stuffing is warmed up real good. We'll pull it off the smoker. Yeah, pull these crown, loin, back rib roasts off the smoker. Look at that one. That's the au natural. We haven't touched it with anything but salt, pepper, garlic, a little thyme. And these two, of course, have the sauce. Oh, yeah. All right. They've been resting now for a few more minutes. And now let's make this a fancy-ass presentation for the girlfriend or the boss you've had over. And we'll throw in some of our stuffing. Yeah, it is good. Now, let me show you what these look like. And you can see they cut like butter, and that's because we took the time to make sure that temperature got in there about 180 internal between the bones, right? Look at that, just like butter. Oh, baby. Oh. These will be tender, moist. Be proud to have at any holiday table. Oh yeah. Oh. Lord have mercy. Step right up. I say it's time to eat. Yep. I say it's time to go out and get yourselves loin back ribs. Right? Perfect. And as always, I do apologize for eating in front of you like this, but I call that pitmaster privilege. And if you don't get it, you're on the wrong channel. So the next time you're not looking for one of those fancy ass recipes, check out BBQPitBoys.com.